Okay, hello everybody. This is our fifth lesson of this week, the final lesson of 11th week. And I will continue my lesson. I was talking about aphrodisias. Aphrodisias became an artistic center with a famous school of sculpture. The city was also famous with ceremonies made in Aphrodite temple in the name of Aphrodite. It was ruined because of the earthquakes in the 4th and 7th century, respectively. Major earthquakes happened and changed the route of the rivers nearby. City was under flood due to the change of route of water because of these earthquakes. And after 7th century earthquakes, city lost its importance. In the 6th century, the name of Aphrodisias was changed to Stropoulos, meaning the city of the cross, to erase the pagan goddess of love from people's minds. As the capital of Caria, Aphrodisias was finally called Caria, which then became Geyre in Turkish. Later in the 13th century, the city was completely abandoned. Aphrodisias was founded near a marble quarry that was extensively used in the Hellenistic and Roman times. The closest quarry, quarry bu arada taş ocağı demek arkadaşlar. The closest quarry was half a mile away from Aphrodisias. The marble sculptures of Aphrodisias became very famous during the Roman period. Many examples have been excavated in Aphrodisias. The sculptures of Aphrodisias became very famous and benefited from a great supply of quality marble nearby. There was a famous school of sculpture here, which was very productive. A lot of sculptures can be seen today around the ancient city and also in the museum. Many finished and unfinished statues were discovered in the area. Unfinished statues proved the existence of a sculpturing school. Many sarcophagi were excavated also at several locations in this site, which were frequently decorated with designs of garlands, columns, figures of people, birds, animals, and the names of many sculptors from Aphrodisias have been seen in lots of works in Italy, Greece, and elsewhere. Statues were carved from the local white, grayish-blue Carian marble, mostly from Babada mountain nearby. And sculptors from other areas came to Aphrodisias for annual sculpture competitions. There are also competitions to make sculptures, yes. Many sarcophagi were decorated with lively reliefs, symbolizing the desire to deny the emptiness of death and its eternal darkness. These sculptures imposed their creative mastery over iron and marble. Iron tools and instruments were used to achieve victory and greatness, not only in battlefields here, but also in the field of sculpture as well. The old traditions of Anatolian sculpture reached a phase of lively fineness and beauty of expression. Aphrodisias was a very special city indeed, and beloved by Augustus. Due to this, this city, Aphrodisias, was exempted from paying taxes to Romans. Okay, Aphrodisias subject is finished, and now I would like to talk about Antioch of Pisidia. Şimdi arkadaşlar, Antioch aslında Antakya, fakat burada bahsettiğim Antioch of Pisidia dediğim yer Antakya değil, daha farklı bir yerde. Antioch tek başına, Antioch of Pisidia farklı. Nedenini de anlatıyor zaten. This ancient city is located in the Yalvaç district of Isparta in Turkey. Evet, Isparta'da burası. Antioch of Pisidia is one of these archaeologic sites that enchant visitors with their glorious past. At the same time, Antiochia has a quiet and peaceful ambience, free of the hustle and bustle characteristic of more famous ancient cities of Asia Minor, such as Ephesus. The extensive ruins of the ancient city are located at an altitude of over 1,000 meters above the sea level, near the modern town of Yalvaç. Travelers interested in the geography of the New Testament often visit Antioch as a place closely associated with the missionary activity of St. Paul. Yes, St. Paul is here. He's everywhere, yes. I think he visited every single ancient city of that time when he was alive. Interesting. Antioch of Pisidia is situated in the mountainous country. A deep gorge stretches to the east of the ruins, allowing the passage of Antius River flowing into Lake Eğirdir. Well, this city was founded in the Hellenistic period by Antiochus I Soter from the Seleucid dynasty, or possibly even earlier by his father Seleucus. The name Antioch was often used by Antiochus I when founding new settlements and renamed the already existing towns. He founded as many as 16 new Antiochs in Asia Minor and Middle East. Yani adam kurduğu her şehre Antioch ismini veriyor arkadaşlar. 16'dan fazla, 16'ya yakın şehir kurmuş. Hepsinin adı Antioch diye geçiyor. Ayırmak için de sonuna başka bir kelime ekliyor. The term Pisidian is frequently added to its name to distinguish this particular city from other Antioch. Yani Antioch sonunda bir isim var. Hangi isim geliyorsa o şekilde birbirinden ayrılıyor bütün Antiyoklar. Bunun da sonunda Pisidian kelimesi var. O şehri o şekilde ayırt edebiliyoruz. Böyle değişik bir durum. Well, let's have a look at the history of the city first. The city was most probably founded by Antiochus I, as I said, as a military base. It is believed that the city was founded in the area of an earlier Greek settlement on top of this settlement. In the 70s of the 3rd century BC, the Celtic tribe of Galatians arrived in Asia Minor. In 275 BC, Antiochus I Soter defeated them in battle as he surprised the Galatians by using war elephants. The Galatians were then pushed to the areas where they later established their own state, known as Galatia, in the central region of Asia Minor. Under the provisions of the treaty in Apamea, signed in 188 BC between the Roman Republic and the Seleucid Empire, the areas Pisidia and Phrygia were incorporated into the kingdom of Pergamon. Attalos III, the last ruler of the state, bequeathed the whole kingdom to Rome. Well, bequeathed ne demek arkadaşlar? Yani Roma'ya bırakmış, Roma'ya miras bırakmış kenti tamamını. Bequeathed the whole kingdom to Rome in 133 BC. And now came the Roman time. Yes. The Romans exercised full control over Antioch of Pisidia after the death of Amyntas in 25 BC. Roman legions were stationed near the city, and their veterans were given land in the area. Veteran eski asker demek arkadaşlar. Hani gazi gibi düşünün. Gaziler ya da eski askerler, deneyimli askerler anlamına gelir. Later the city was awarded the title Socia Romanorum, which means loyal ally of Rome because of these veterans. The most glorious period of Antioch's history was time immediately after its incorporation into the Roman Empire. Ancient green buildings were demolished and impressive public buildings were erected in their place. Antioch was an excellent example of symbiosis of Greek and Roman culture. Its constitution was adopted from the original Greek. The official language of the inscriptions and documents was Latin, but Greek was frequently used in everyday affairs. The city retained the status of a colony for over 200 years. The end of the 3rd century was in Pisidia, the period of social unrest and riots. Roman Emperor Tacitus arrived in Asia Minor together with his half-brother Florian to fight the Goths and the Alans. As part of the reorganization of the Roman Empire in 292 BC, Antioch became the capital of the newly created province of Pisidia. Well, Pisidia was also the seat of the bishops of Pisidia. From the church records, it's known that the city of Antioch was an important settlement in the 5th century AD. Its position was significantly weakened after the earthquakes that hit the region in the years 518 and 529. And in the middle of the 6th century, the city's population was decimated by an epidemic. Yes, when we hear the word epidemic, we just cringe, right? Okay. I hate the word epidemic. In the early 7th century, the threat of a Persian invasion caused political instability in the region and sparked a series of local revolts. In the mid-7th century, Arab raids began in Asia Minor, and their intensity increased in the 8th century. In 713, Antioch was besieged by Al-Walid I, the son of Caliph Abdul Malik of the Umayyad dynasty. After this blow, Antioch never regained its former glory, and in the 11th century, Turkish tribes arrived in this region of Asia Minor. Seljuk settlers did not rebuild ruined Antioch. They founded a new city in the valley where they could develop intensive agriculture. Well, Antioch was founded on a hill at an altitude of 1,235 meters above the sea level. And this city was surrounded by defensive walls about 3 kilometers long. Not all sections of the walls have been uncovered so far in the excavations. And currently, 2 gates leading to the area of Antioch have been identified. One of them is located in the south and the other in the west. The western gate was a monumental structure in the form of a triple triumphal arch, which was supported on both sides on the walls. The gate was built after 120 AD, and it was dedicated to Emperor Hadrian. At the beginning of the 3rd century, it was rebuilt as a triumphal arch. A sightseeing tour of Antioch of Pisidia begins at the western gate of the city. From this point, one of 2 main streets of the city, known as Decumanus Maximus, runs in the southeastern direction. Antioch was planned from the beginning on the well-known principles of the Hippodamian plan or grid plan, known since the 5th century BC. In the area of Antioch, 2 main roads have been excavated so far, and one of them is Decumanus Maximus that have been mentioned now, and the other one, Cardo Maximus. Decumanus Maximus, the first one, starts from the western gate and ends after 320 meters near the Tiberius Square. Following the Decumanus Maximus road, the visitors reach a theater located midway between the western gate and the Tiberium Square. This building of an impressive size is situated on the northern side of the road. Unfortunately, the facade of the theater has not been preserved to our times. Discovered fragments of the building revealed that the facade was adorned with richly carved friezes. The theater was built in the Hellenistic period, and from the discovered inscription, it is known that this theater underwent renovation and expansion in the following years. Okay, the Tiberius Square was located in front of a monumental gate leading to the Temple of Augustus. The Tiberius Square is a rectangle with size 30 and 70 meters long. Big, very big. Its construction is dated to the years 25 to 50 ADs. The central location and the proximity to the temple suggest that the square was the heart of urban life in Antioch. Archaeological work has shown that along the sides of the square, there were grocery stores, restaurants, and bars, even bars, yes. In this location, archaeologists unearthed plates, cups, kitchen utensils, and also hundreds of coins. Okay. The lesson is finished now, and I will continue to talk about Antioch of Pisidia in my next lesson, okay? In our 5th week together, and I will see you there. And until then, bye-bye. Take care of yourselves, okay?